Alright, check this bike out. This is kind of a cool one. This is a 2001 Yamaha YZ 125. The seller stated that it lost compression and would not start back up. So you can see it's pretty low in compression. There's a little bit there, not a whole lot. He said he has not torn apart the top end yet or done anything to this bike. I think he did drain the coolant. You can see the hoses were off of it. And it kind of looks like he was in this case half here. The covers are off of it. So I don't know if he had problems with the kickstart or with the water pump or what, but it looks like there's gasket maker all over this. Like he took them off and then put them back on. I noticed the coolant was gone in the radiator, so he did drain the coolant. I'll have to check the oil later, but missing a couple parts as well. So throttle housing, front brake is missing. Throttle cable is still there, but not hooked up. Clutch cable is not hooked up, and that's kind of why I think the cover came off at one point. CDI is just dangling there, so hopefully we have spark. It looks like the tires have stud holes in it from ice racing, and there's a number on it, so I'm guessing it was ice raced at one point. Has a Moose Racing seat cover, Renthal bars. Plastics look like they're in pretty good shape. Pipe is a little rusted out, but not dented too much. Looks like the original stock pipe. You can see a couple dents right here. Missing these springs for the pipe. So it kind of looks like he took this thing apart, but who knows. Bottom of the engine looks good. Doesn't look like any repairs done to the bottom of the engine. Ooh, the frame's really rusty. How the heck did it get that rusty? Weird. It's got the stock silencer. Looks to be in good shape. Missing the chain. Sprockets are there. Sprockets look pretty decent. Carb is there. The old Mikuni carb. So that's probably stock. Everything for the ignition looks like it's there. But yeah, so today's goal is to figure out why this thing has low compression, to fix it, and hopefully take it for the first ride. It's just weird that there's a little compression and not much. It's super smooth when you rotate it, so I don't think it's the crank, but it definitely could be. And it doesn't feel like there would be any scratches on the cylinder wall because it's so smooth. But we'll find out today. It did come with a couple pistons, so somebody must have bought new pistons. I haven't checked them out yet. Here's the old air filter. Here's a Weisco piston for it. They're different sizes too, which is weird. Here's another one, YZ 125, 98 to 01. Same with this one. Here's a piece of plastic for it. And then it looks like it's got some fork seals, so the fork seals must have been leaking too. So let's just take a quick look at the pistons in here and see what size they are. See what's going on with these. I have a feeling one of them is a used one and one of them's a new one. So let's just take a look. The receipt, it said there's only one piston in here. We've got two, so let's just see. So here's the first one. Looks like it comes with everything. Let's see what size it is. So this one's a 55. This is a millimeter over piston. Looks to be in good condition. Looks brand new. Let's see. It looks like it's got everything. Got the ring here. It looks like he opened the rings. Maybe it wasn't the right size. Not sure. So that's in there. So we have that if it is bored over. Maybe he just ordered the wrong one accidentally. Not too sure. But there was a gasket kit in there too. So it must have been rebuilt at one point. Looks like the top end gaskets are missing. Let's see what this piston is. Same thing. Weisco piston. This is a 54 millimeter, so I believe that's stock size. And that one looks good. So we have a couple options for pistons. Hopefully it's not bored over like 1/2 millimeter or 1/4 of a millimeter, and one of these pistons is going to work. We will see. But we have options at least. Alright, let's take a look at the oil next. See if there's anything in there. I don't know if he drained it or not. Let's take a look. Ouch. The seller said he lent it to his stepson, and he used it in college for riding, so I'm guessing he just left it outside if he didn't have a garage. Let's see if there's anything in there. I don't see anything in there. That's weird. Let's see here. I don't see any oil. Huh. Not much oil coming up. We'll have to drain it and see. Hard to get the dipstick down there far enough. Yeah, nothing's coming up. Huh. Maybe there's no oil in it. Let's see if the brakes work here. Just so if we do get this thing fired up today, we can ride it. Yeah, back brake works. Front brake lever's missing. Just want to see if that's working. Feels like it might be working. So it looks like brakes are working. Let's see if it shifts through the gears here. Guess there's no chain, so we don't need the back wheel on the frame. Let's see. That's neutral. Uh-oh. There's first. Second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Sixth. You know these were 6 speeds. Okay, there's neutral. Alright, so shift smoothly through all the gears. That's good. Alright, next let's get the seat off, the tank off, and start taking a look at that engine, and we'll see why it has low compression. We'll obviously do a compression test before tearing it down, just to see if it is low compression, or maybe there's something else going on. Maybe it's just like a gas issue. It looks like it was left outside, and it looks like there was no hose on the gas cap, so I wonder if, yeah, look how rusty that is. I wonder if water got in here. Looks like the air filter and cage is missing. So, air filter cage, and it looks like the bolt for that is missing too. Darn, that kind of sucks. But it's nice and clean in there. Alright, yeah, you can see all the hoses are off. So, that's interesting. I think what we're first going to do is just check and see if it has spark. Looks like it's got an NGK plug cap on here. Get that off. We'll get that spark plug out next. The radiator hoses are completely off, so I wonder if he tried to rebuild this thing but didn't have the correct size piston, or what was going on. It seems odd, doesn't it? Where does this thing go? Here's the CDI. Where is that supposed to go? I don't know. We'll have to look up the diagram. That's just hanging here. Let's go up here by the frame. Get this plug out of here. already loose. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, it looks perfect. Nice and brown. Check that out. Looks like it was running perfectly. So, I wonder why that would blow up if it is blowing up. Well, let's put a little bit of oil in there. Lube up the piston a little bit. See if we can expand those rings a little bit more. Give us a little more compression. Look how smooth this is though. Really kicks over nicely. Alright, so the engine feels smooth. I'm just gonna add a little oil to it, just in case. Just because it's been sitting outside for so long, it seems like. There's so much rust on it. Get a little oil in there, lube up that piston. And we'll kick it over a couple times. Feels pretty smooth. Alright, let's do a compression test. See what we get. If we have good compression, all we have to do is probably a carb clean. But the guy said it was low, so I'm guessing it's low. Plus he bought pistons for it, so I'm thinking it's gonna be low. Alright, we can't really do throttle open unless I manually do the throttle. Probably can. Alright, you guys keep an eye on that. Let's see if I can pull the throttle cable here. Alright, it's open now. Let's see what we get. Alright, it's definitely low. We're at 100 psi. That's not great. So it should be like 160, 150. So definitely on the lower side. Let's see what happens if we put some oil down it. Maybe that ring is stuck. Alright, let's see if it goes up. Alright, here we go. Throttle open. Yeah, so I think it's the ring. I think the ring might be stuck. Now it's up to 200 pounds of compression. So, either the ring is really worn or it's stuck. Might have to tear it down to get that thing unstuck. Or let it sit with a little penetrating oil in it. Let's see. Alright, we're gonna let this sit with a little penetrating oil down the cylinder. We'll see if those rings free up. Let's do a quick oil change on it and just see if this oil is milky or what's going on. Might give us a bigger picture of what happened to this engine. So the drain plug is right down there. You can see. Let's get that out. That was really loose. So So he must have drained it. Yeah, there's no oil in it. Looks like there's water droplets in it. Yeah, there's water on it. Look at that. So I don't know if water's in the bottom end. Huh. I'm wondering if the whole engine got water in it. But yeah, that plug was really loose in there. Alright, I'd probably kick this thing over a couple hundred times, trying to free up this ring. Let's see if compression went up at all. We didn't put any more oil in it. Might have to take apart the top end here if it doesn't go up. Alright, here we go. Throttle open. Let's see what we get. It's going up a little bit. $120. So we're close, a little bit better. I think what we're gonna do is just take apart the top end, see what's going on. Let's begin by taking off the mount here. We forgot to check for spark while we're in here. Let's just see if we got any spark here. This is the old spark plug that was on it. Let's see. Oh yeah, good spark. Plenty of spark. So it probably wasn't a spark problem. Those were torqued. That one was a little loose. Oh, that one was torqued. Well, what do you guys think? That whole stud came out. Yeah, the whole stud came out. So maybe the head gasket was failing. They're all rusty though, you see that? Really rusty. Alright, here we go. Let's see what's going on. Head gaskets are in there. Head looks good. No dings like it blew up or anything. That's weird. Let's see what it looks like in there. We'll have to get our flashlight out. Hopefully it's the correct size piston that we have. Let's see. I can't tell. I think it's 50, I think it's 50. I don't know, I can't tell what that number is right there. I'll have to get a flashlight out, but let's check out the cylinder for scratches. I don't see any scratches. Not feeling any big gouges or anything. Power valves are in there. What the heck? I wonder if that ring is stuck. That's really weird. Yeah, absolutely zero scratches on this thing. There might be some down lower. We'll have to check once we get off the cylinder. Let's see what these gaskets look like. They're raised up a little bit. They should squish just fine. Let's see the O-rings. Maybe they're just really worn out, you know? They look fine to me. Get the pipe off of here. Alright, let's see if the power valves go up. Yep. Those are working. Those are tight. Maybe the guy was going to rebuild it, but decided not to, you know, I don't know. There is a new gasket on the top end though. Those were pretty loose. Everything's really rusty. Alright, those are all off. There we go. Alright. I could see it was starting to come. Get these wires out of the way. We might have to take that radiator off. Get that out of the way. Gives us a little bit more room in there. These hoses are still stuck. I'm at the power valve, so it looks like usually it's a clip that comes out, but we might just be able to take out the bolt right here. Let's see. There we go. Alright, cylinders off. Looks like there's some water droplets everywhere. Looks like water may have entered. Piston rings aren't stuck at all. Let's see if the rod bearing's fine. Rod bearing feels good. No up and down, just a little side to side. Maybe it's the wrong size piston. See if that bearing in there is good. Still feels pretty good. Still looks like the stock rod too. So that's good. All right, here's the piston. It looks like it is a big bore. You can see it says 5600, so that's 56. We have a 55 and a 54, so 54 stock, so it's 2 millimeters over bore here. So unfortunately we don't have a new piston we can put in. Let's see what the ring looks like. Is it stuck? Nope. Looks like it's pretty worn though. It's not misshaped or anything. The piston looks really good. You can see they even drilled holes. Big gouge right here actually in the piston. I can get my nail in it. So I wonder if that got hot right there. So along the piston skirt you can see it must have been getting hot. It doesn't look too bad. No pitting on the top. It was in the correct way. Alright, here's a cylinder. Let's see what this looks like. Let's get the O-ring gaskets off. Check those out. They look fine to me. No breaks or anything in them. Looks pretty good. It looks like the cylinder has a weld right here. But that's before the O-ring, so that wouldn't matter. Let's take a look at the inside of the cylinder here. Man, it looks clean. Looks really good. Looks like it was recently honed out. You can still see the cross hatches from the hone here. Can't get my fingernail in any of the lines. Yeah, it looks really good. Alright, let's see what the ring gap is. Not a whole lot of play. Yeah, that's perfect. Let's see what the ring gap looks like here. Oh, that would be the problem right there. You can see how big that ring gap is. See that? So, the ring is just really worn. So unfortunately, it looks like we need a new ring, which hopefully I have one. I wonder if I can rob one off a different piston. Yeah, let's see how big the ring gap is. Go over our biggest setting, 2.4. It's like double that, so it's probably 1.2 millimeters or 0.048 inches, which is like, what is that, 5 times the size it's supposed to be. So that's definitely the problem. I'm gonna look for a different ring, see if we can find one. All right, so I looked for another ring. That was 56 millimeters. All I had were 54. So we're gonna have to order up a new one. For the time being though, we're gonna put it back together and just see if it fires up. I wanna see if it leaks coolant, and I wanna see what happens with the water pump as well. So we can order up all new parts for it, depending on how it runs. It should run with the amount of compression it had. It's got about 120 psi. So, all right, so we've got the cylinder back on with the piston. We're getting the head back on now. So this stud came out of the cylinder, so we're gonna get this back on. We're gonna tighten these up. Get that in there. Right there. Here. There we go. All right, O-rings going in. And then be crisscross pattern as well. Get them tightened up before we use our torque wrench here. Set to 20 foot-pounds. Alright, perfect. Alright, we've got the engine back together. Let's get the carb out before the first start attempt. Looks like that was out at 1.2. 0 clamps on it. It's like, what the heck? I don't know if this was like a parts bike or what he was doing with it. Look how corroded those are. What was going on with this bike? Alright, let's dig into the carb. Ooh, there's water in there. See that? It's all water. So, I don't know what. Yeah, it's all water. I don't know what the heck happened to this thing. It's really weird. Let's get the float out. Actually, this should pop right out of here. Yeah. Holy. Oh man. It's all corroded in there. Well, good thing we're cleaning this out. Look at the needle. All packed full of stuff. Man. We can get the seat out too. There's stuff stuck in the seat. A little grime. This is worse than I thought it would be. Main jet's clogged too. Look at that. Man, there's a lot of water in there. And the pilot's open. Air screw. About one. Turn out. Should be a spring in there. There we go. Alright. You can see all the corrosion going on. It's horrible. This should pull right out of here. That O-ring looks really good. So we'll leave that. Now we're going to go through the whole thing and just clean it all up. I want to take off that choke too. The choke feels kind of sticky. Looks good. Yeah, that's working. Alright. We'll clean this thing up, put it back together, and then we'll attempt to start this thing up. Alright, let's get some oil in here. Takes 650 milliliters. Looks like it's missing all the gaskets for the covers, so maybe not. Alright, that's perfect. Alright, let's see if it leaks coolant here. Nothing yet. Huh, it's leaking pretty bad. Right here. Leaking from the water pump cover. That's not good. Huh. That is interesting. It's hard to tell where it's coming from. Looks like it's coming from up there. Which doesn't really make sense. I don't like that. That's not good. Maybe the gasket's just bad. But we're gonna get the gas tank on, get some premix in here, and see if it fires up. At least there's some coolant in there. 40 to 1 going in. Alright, let's see if this petcock is gonna work. Oh yeah. Alright, that's working. Alright, moment of truth. Will she fire at least? Choke on. Alright, we put some gas directly down the carb. Let's see what happens. Fired right up, so I think there's a carburetor issue. I don't know if that choke's working properly, because as soon as I put gas on the carb, she fired right up. So definitely had enough compression. Sounds really good actually, but we're still gonna get that new ring. So this thing started right up. Surprisingly, I didn't think it would sound that good, but we put some gas on the carb, fired right up. So I'm thinking possibly that pilot might be too small in there. We'll have to look at the stock jetting, but it's still leaking coolant too. So something's definitely going on with that. Could be a gasket, could be a crack in the case. So let's check the oil, make sure it's not milky. Milky, we know that the water pump seal is gone. Good. I have a feeling it's gonna be milky. Yeah. Milky. So coolant's getting in to the bottom end somehow. That sucks. So drain the coolant. be the case. There. Look how rusty too. Why are they that rusty? Those were super loose. It's coming. Oof. Duh. It's working. Doesn't look too bad. So it must be going up through there. See where it's leaking. Right there. So the clutch gasket is right in there. You can see where it gets pressed up against that case. See that green gasket coming through? That is where it's leaking from. Alright, so we found out today that it runs and it does shift into gear, but we also found that it leaks coolant and has low compression. So we are going to get a new ring for it and possibly a new piston, probably just buy a new piston to be honest. We are going to get a new water pump seal kit, a whole gasket kit for the bottom end and top end, get some clamps, we need a throttle body, we need a chain, probably chain and sprockets, a new petcock. So it's getting up there in price, but I mean, what can you do? So next video, we're gonna be digging into everything, fixing everything, and hopefully be riding this by the end of the video. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next video, and until next time, we are out.